Good morning, students. So at last we completed similar triangles. Okay, very good. Are you practicing all the questions? Yes. I gave you some important questions there. I said you when I am explaining on the board. Okay, mark those important questions, practice the constructions, learn all the statements and definitions. The four theorems are most important there for you in similar triangles: basic proportionality theorem, converse of basic proportionality theorem, Pythagoras theorem and converse of Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem may also be asked as, what is the name? Bodhayana theorem. Very good. Okay, so you have to follow these four theorems and practice them very well. Okay, right. Right guys, now we are going to start statistics. Okay, because this chapter is given for you in July month. According to the schedule of the government, it must be completed in the month of July. So we have to continue that one. After completing statistics, we move to the trigonometry. I think all of you are eagerly waiting for trigonometry. So it will be discussed later. So let's complete stat first. Okay, right. So the main topic for statistics, which has been followed for you from 6th onwards. In 6th, you learned what is meant by statistics. There you learned about mean, median, and in 7th, you learned about mean, median, and mode. Again in 8th, again in 9th. Okay, 9th also you have learned about mean, median, and mode, and it is becoming a major topic in 10th class. There is nothing but finding the central tendency. Okay, what is meant by central tendency? So I explain you what is the meaning of tendency. Tendency means wanting to maintain a certain state. Tendency, what tendency do you show? They ask you. Tendency means what principle or what type of system do you follow? So this is a central tendency. That means a value or an item that gives complete information of the total data which is present at the center of the data is called as central tendency. Okay, right? The process used to know the feature of given data by finding its central value is called central tendency, and this central tendency is measured by means of three measures. Okay, we have three different measures to find the central tendency. You know what are they? They are, yeah, very good, Amma, very good. They are, number one, arithmetic mean or mean, which is indicated by X bar, and the second one is the median, which is indicated by the letter M, and at last we come to the third one, which is mode, indicated by the letter Z. Clear guys? I think all of you know this one. Very good, very good. Now first we come to the first measure of central tendency, that is arithmetic mean. To find the arithmetic mean of a given data, we have total three methods, three types of data. One type is for raw data. Okay ma? For raw data, where you have only observations, x1, x2, x3, so on, xn. You have only observations. To find the arithmetic mean at this position AM is equal to, you write the formula, sum of observations by number of observations. Okay, that is equal to x1 plus x2 plus so on plus xn by n. That is the arithmetic mean x bar. But instead of writing plus, we use a special symbol called as sigma, which indicates the summation. So you write x bar is equal to sigma x by n. As some people demands to write here sigma xi as I is equal to 1 to n, but not necessary. Sigma indicates the sum of and x indicates observations. So you can write sum of observations by number of observations. Okay, this is for raw data. Now we go to the second stage, that is ungrouped frequency distribution. The second one is ungrouped frequency distribution. Ungrouped frequency distribution ungrouped frequency distribution, okay, where you get the observations x1, x2, x3, so on xn, and their respective frequencies f1, f2, f3, so on fn. Now to find the arithmetic mean of such observations and frequencies, which you call as an ungrouped frequency distribution, you want to find the arithmetic mean. So you write AM is equal to sum of product of observations and frequencies by sum of frequencies. Okay, sum of product of observations and frequencies. That means first of all you have to find the product of frequencies and the observations. Okay, Nana? So you write x1 f1 plus x2 f2 plus x3 f3 plus so on plus xn fn by the sum of the frequencies is f1 plus f2 plus f3 so on plus fn. In short form, you can represent this one as sigma fx right Nana, very good. So you can add this one as x bar is equal to sigma fi xi as I is equal to 1 to n by sigma fi as I is equal to 1 to n, or you can simply write this one as sigma fx by capital N, where capital N indicates capital N is equal to sum of frequencies. Okay, Nana? This is the formula to find the mean of ungrouped frequency distribution. Okay, right. And the third part is we have aim of grouped frequency distribution. And in this method of finding arithmetic mean for a grouped frequency distribution, you again have three methods, Nana. The first method is direct method. Direct method. From here onwards, your actual topic starts. Okay, from here onwards, your actual topic starts. So the direct method, in the direct method, what do you do? They give you the classes and the frequencies. Okay, they give you the classes and the frequencies. So I am drawing the model table, classes, frequencies. But you need to find a direct method. That means you don't have a value there, you will have a range of values. You know, 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, range will be given. How could you take the observations? But it is believed that for every class, observe carefully, listen carefully, for every class, the middle value indicates the total system of that class. That means the average of a class gives the information of the total class. So we want to find the average of each and every class, and that average is called as mid value. And that average is called as mid value, and this mid value formula is LL plus UL by 2, lower limit plus upper limit by 2. This is the formula for the mid value. The another name for the mid value is class marks. The another name for the mid values is class marks. Okay, keep in brain, class marks. So classes, as they give you the classes and the frequencies, it is must for you to find the mid values. So basing the mid values, this is considered as the observations X, and you have the frequencies F. So what did you do here? You multiplied the frequencies and the observations. The same system we follow here, F into X. We find F into X. Now this is your model table. Now this is your model table. Now as you know, you are going to find all the sum, that is sigma Fx. Okay, you are going to add all the sum, that is sigma F, and you use the same formula, x bar is equal to sigma Fx by sigma F, or this can be taken as capital N. So you write x bar is equal to sigma Fx by sigma F, or else sigma Fx by N. Did you understand? This is your model table for the mean of grouped frequency distribution in direct method. Okay, let's see an example. Let's see an example for this direct method, Nana. So write example 1. If I take the classes as 1 to 10, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50. Okay, and I take the frequencies as 3, 5, 2, 6, 4. Okay guys, now I want to find the mean of this grouped frequency distribution. So what should I find out now? Yeah, very good. First of all, we need to find the mid values. Mid values. So tell me, what is the mid value for the first one? 1 plus 10 by 2, LL plus UL by 2. Find the average of the limits. 1 plus 10 is 11. 11 by 2 is 5.5. So 5.5. Next, 11 plus 20. How much you get? 31. 31 by 2 is nothing but 15.5. If you observe carefully, the difference between these two will be equal to the difference between these two. The difference between the lower limits or successive limits is called as class interval, H, or size of the class. This is called size of the class. The difference between consecutive lower limits or consecutive upper limits is called as class interval or size of the class. Okay, all the definitions you have to put in your brains. So this is H and this is also H. That means if you add 10 again, you will get 25.5. Add again 10, you get 35.5. Add again 10, you get 45.5. Did you understand, everybody? So this is your mid values. Now this is F and this is considered as X. Now you find out F into X. Now tell me, 3 5s are 15, 3 5s are 15 and 1 16.5. 5 5s are 25, 5 5s 25, 26, 27, 2 7, 5 1s 5 6 7. Now go 2 5s are 10, 0.2 5 is 10, 1 11, 2 2s are 4, 1 5. 6 5s are 30, 6 5s 30 and 3 33, 6 3s are 18, 19, 20, 21. Now 4 5s are 20, 4 5s 20, 21, 22, 4 4 16, 17, 18. Now if you add all of them, 5 plus 5 is 10. You add 6 plus 1, 7, 7 plus 7, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, this is 20, 2, 0. 8 plus 2, 10, 11, 11, 12, 12 and 7, 19, 19 and 5, 24, 2, 4. 2 plus 2, 4, 1, 5. So 540 is your sigma fx. Now what did you get sigma f? Sigma f is equal to 6 plus 4, 10, 5 plus 5, 10. So it is 20. Did you understand, everybody? Now we are going to find the mean. So what is the formula for the mean? Yeah, you got here the find. X bar is equal to sigma fx by n, which is equal to 540 by 20. 0, 0 cancel, and it is 27. 2 2s are 4, 2 7s 14. Okay, did you understand? This is your direct method to find the mean of a grouped frequency distribution. At tomorrow class we are going to see about deviation method and step deviation method, which are most important to us. Okay, bye.